My name is Laith Masarwe. I'm the CEO and founder of Assistantly, one of the world's leading offshore staffing firms, and I'm here today to help you build and create your dream unicorn team. Here's a little bit about the agenda and what I'm going to be discussing today. Number one, I'm going to help you identify your zone of genius. Number two, I'm going to help you understand the right fit. And number three, I'm going to help you define the right assistant roles, focusing on your goals and clarifying your needs. Let's jump into it. Let's talk about the problems. You're doing it all on your own. You're doing a little bit of administrative tasks, you're doing a little bit of operations, you're doing a little bit of marketing. You're simply running a business lean, which is great, but poorly because you're spending all the time doing all departments of your business on your own. Number two, you don't have a massive budget to hire. You know you need to hire, whether it's locally or offshore, but you're looking at your profit and loss statement, your business account, and you're saying, how can I possibly hire somebody when I don't have the proper budget to hire somebody? Number three, you're overwhelmed and frustrated over lack of business growth. It doesn't have to be this way. It's sort of like a same shit, different day type of scenario. And I'm here to help you realize the perfect opportunity when hiring an assistant. When hiring an assistant, you want to create more time in your day, your week, and your year. You want to generate more money, and you want to reduce your stress. You want to do what you want the way you want to do it. Let me show you the way and help you get started. Let's first identify your zone of genius and zone of resentment. Number two, let's help you understand the right fit. And number three, let's help define the perfect role. Identifying the zone of genius easily, that requires a little bit of a mix of soul searching, recognizing your zone of resentment, and also what we call a little sprinkle of unicorn magic. If you look at these two individuals, I mean, I'm sure everybody knows who they are. We got Oprah Winfrey on the left, we got Andy Reid on the right. These are true avatars for people that work within their zone of genius. Oprah Winfrey, you've seen her on TV. She was a TV host. She interviewed quite a bit. Her true zone of genius was actually producing and directing, which is why she created her network. She stayed within her zone of genius, started her own thing, and she's loving life. You got Andy Reid, who obviously, if anybody watches football, is one of the best coaches of all time. Head coach of the Chiefs, won many Super Bowls. And him being a head coach has led his team to many Super Bowls, but you don't see Andy Reid also doing nutrition and training and all that kind of stuff. He focuses on strategy and making decisions, doing what's best for the team, his quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, etc. So wanted to put these two avatars on here for you guys so you can quickly realize why people that stay in their zone of genius typically excel and are on the journey to greatness. What I typically first like to start off with is what is not your zone of genius. That makes it a lot easier on what to eliminate. It's like things you dislike doing, things you keep procrastinating, or probably the first things you just want off your plate. Now let's go into what is your zone of genius. These are things that are typically energizing, motivating, joyful. These are actually not things that you're really good at, because sometimes things that you're really good at, they're time consuming. I'm really great at copywriting, right? I love it. It's a big passion of mine, but when I write emails or I write LinkedIn posts, I'm like, I gotta go write a LinkedIn post. I gotta go write an email, right? So these are typically tasks that you really enjoy doing. For me, it's sales calls. I love getting on sales calls with prospects. I love meeting new people. If there's one thing that I want to do, I just want to do sales calls. The rest I like doing, but it's not things that really energize me or bring me joy. These are things that you want to keep within your zone of genius, because if you stay within your zone of genius, it's just a matter of time before your growth is unlocked, and then you get to quickly offload those things that you not really great at, don't have time for, you like doing, that are tedious, to an assistant. If you look at the QR code here on the screen, we developed something really cool. It's how you can calculate your freedom number, your zone of genius freedom number. You'll put in a couple tasks that you want to take off your plate, and it'll tell you the type of position that you should hire, whether it's part-time or full-time. Play around with it, super fun. Just something that we like to offer here as a value resource to somebody like you. Number two, understanding the right fit. It isn't just about filling a spot. It's about really finding a person, what we call a unicorn, that really vibes with your vision and turns their goals into an actual reality. As you're probably gonna see in this video, I have a lot of different acronyms. It just makes it where it's easy to remember and easy to follow. So the 4 V's, we got vibes, velocity, versatility, and vision. And I'm gonna go ahead and break each one of those down. Vibes, maybe that's a millennial thing that people typically say, but obviously you wanna hire somebody you vibe with. There's like the old saying is you wanna hire somebody that you would wanna maybe grab a beer or a glass of wine with. Very similar, so when you do interview candidates for a role, like that has to be there, because you're gonna actually wanna enjoy working with this person. It's not just about work, it's also about personal relationships, and if you can intertwine those, it typically leads to like a long-term, really fruitful partnership together. So that's really important. That's number 1 on vibes. 2, velocity, and why this matters is when you hire somebody, it's really like a pace thing, right? Are you hiring somebody with like, hey, it's more project related, meaning, I'm gonna give you a project, I need it done in 2 weeks, I need it done in a month, I need it done in a couple months. You're having maybe people create plans or strategies or systems or processes, and that like is a little bit more project related. You're giving them tight deadlines or deadlines in general. Or is this person gonna be more of like an executive assistant where they're handling like quick daily tasks or recurring tasks? Is it gonna be like daily, monthly, weekly? Is it gonna be recurring? Is it gonna be more product-based? Every quarter I'm gonna give you a project I need it accomplished. So make sure you figure out the velocity in which you're gonna hire for this person. Number 3, versatility. Why this matters is, everybody's needs, especially solopreneurs or execs or entrepreneurs or whoever it may be, like needs always shift. And you're gonna if you're hiring an executive assistant, is the goal to always keep them in administrative functions, or like down the road, are you gonna have them do some light marketing? So like listing tasks, that are varied, even though they might not cover it from the beginning, is gonna be super important. Cause like if you do need somebody that has like admin and operations or admin and marketing, very important that you do note that in a job description and in the role. Last one is vision. Pretty straightforward. Like you're gonna want an assistant or a person that's very aligned with your long-term goals. Supporting your mission behind daily tasks, projects. Really, like you're gonna have to paint the big picture for this person. Your goals might be to grow revenue. It might be to create more brand awareness. It might be to have more structure in your business, have more systems, more processes, whatever that looks like to you. Make sure to describe your vision for the company to a potential candidate or to your potential assistant. Number 3, how to properly define the role. This is one of the most important things I'm gonna share here. Defining a role is not just like writing a job description. It's what really attracts the right talent to the role and turn your vision really into a reality. Anytime I craft a job description for a client, a prospect, internally, I always go by something called the 4 R's. And let me explain a little bit more of what that looks like. So the 4 R's: resonate, role, responsibilities, and requirements. So when crafting a job description, the resonate and role are kind of like one section. You could call it like the role overview, but you want to write it in a way, for example, let's say you're hiring an executive assistant, right? And you want somebody highly organized, right? So it's like, hey, are you a highly organized individual that likes to turn chaos or mess into proper organized system? Like whatever that question looks like, right? If it's marketing, do you like to turn, ideas into like creative deliverables? You want to craft the role overview in a way where somebody goes, that's my dream job, or like, that's a job that I really, really want to pursue. It's not just like a job, it's like something that they can see a career growth trajectory, whether it's an EA or a marketing assistant or operations assistant, where you want it to pull and attract the right candidates. And then obviously there's the responsibilities and requirements where like whatever the responsibilities are for the role, you're gonna wanna go deep into depth and detail of like what that looks like. Don't just put social media, right? Put social media, like what are they gonna be doing? Content creation, engagement, caption writing, video editing. Like what does that look like? Get into more detail, because the more detail, the better. And it just helps with transparency in the roles. Requirements, also very important. Do they need to have like specific industry experience? Like do they need to have real estate experience? Do they need to have tech experience? Do they need to have specific tool and platform knowledge? Do they need to be proactive, organized, get shit done, great communication skills? Like whatever that looks like, make sure to include it in the job description. And I talk about this job description and the way to do it and how I would structure it, but I made it even easier. Again, another QR code. As you see, I give a shit ton of resources in this. You literally scan it, and it gives you the prompt that I follow, that I enter into ChatGPT. I'm a big user of AI. I'm giving it to you guys. That way you can use it yourself. and it makes it really easy. It's pretty much plug and play, and then it will just create you like a perfect job description based off the 4 Rs. So scan it, check it out, use it, super awesome. One more QR code. Again, scan the QR code. It's a worksheet that pretty much anybody can do, whether you're the CEO, the founder, the executive, the manager. I think everybody on a team should really go through this exercise. It goes over zone of genius, zone of resentment. What does that look like for each individual on the team, yourself? It goes over role, responsibilities, requirements. It goes over all that stuff. Everything I talked about, those fancy acronyms, 4 Vs, 4 Rs. I laid it out in a 1-pager for you guys. That way you can essentially just go through it on your own, and it makes it super easy for you to, follow, and it makes it really easy for you to understand also, like, what is a person I'm looking for? Who is a person I'm looking for? What should I hire for? And when should I hire for it? This is where most people fail. We call it grind to genius here. Mindful delegation is super key. So like, you created the job description, you put it out there in the universe, you hired somebody, and like where most people typically breaks is like the onboarding component to it. So like, to set up a strong relationship, you got to clarify the purpose behind, the tasks, like the link to the larger goals of it, and then assign authority clearly and define like, what does that success look like? So for example, with my executive assistant, Angie, there's like really different levels to this, as you're gonna see on the slide. Am I assigning a task where I'm gonna say, hey, here's the SOP and follow instructions? That's it, SOP, follow instructions. Am I gonna give her something where I'm gonna say, hey, research, and then report back to me with different options? Typically level 2. Level 3, am I gonna say, hey, I need you to do some research, but recommend me options? As you can see, progressively, you just give that person more autonomy and they start developing a little bit quicker. And then like level 4, right? Like, this person is actually responsible for making decisions and then informing me about those decisions. And like, of course, whenever you really hire somebody, you want to get them to like what I call level 5. Thinking of like Super Mario, right? Jumping, getting level by level by level. Level 5 is like full autonomy. Like, just, they're autonomous, they make decisions, they're researching, they're doing all these things on their own. Super, super important when understanding how you want this person to behave in the role. Do you want them to follow instructions, or do you want them to be autonomous? This is Angie. She's my executive assistant. She's a rock star. She's super awesome. I actually just promoted her because she's like that good. But if you watch the video within the video, she's explaining what she did in her end of the day report. I've shared this video with so many different types of people. They go, did she do this for the week? Did she do this for the year? I'm like, no, she did this in a day. And she does this every single day. She sends me a video format end of the day report. And these are just a couple of the things that she does for me on a daily basis. I am more of like a show, not tell type of person. I know I'm spitting a lot of information at you guys. This is an EA, an executive assistant that I hired from the Philippines, who is a freaking rock star. And I encourage that you just take a quick 15, 30 seconds to just watch what she does for me on a daily basis.
Anyway, I just wanted to send you my end of day report. I posted your LinkedIn content and did community engagement for about an hour today. I also created the portal links and did the follow-up emails for the calls that you had. And on top of that, I also added some real estate templates into our resource library for our clients. And super excited for that project. I know you have 7 calls tomorrow, so I have your meeting bios already done. I got those outlined for you with some information on, who you're talking to and what they're about. So I've also sent like connection requests to every single one of them on LinkedIn. And lastly, I finished the case study for Doc, and I made 3 options on the tone or the voice. So if you have any questions, just let me know. But I just wanted to fill you in on what I did for today. Thank you.
Acronym STAR is super important when bringing on like an assistant or a team member to your business. Support, training, authority, and resources. The proper support is really important when bringing somebody on. Are you supporting them, or is a department head supporting them? Of course, you want to clearly communicate expectations and goals and the purpose behind it. I know I spoke a little bit about that before, but like, just throwing somebody in there with like no goals, no expectations, and just saying go do it doesn't typically like lead to like a good long-term relationships. It's good to like understand the why behind these types of things. Training, are you going to be training them directly? Is somebody on your team going to be training them directly? Do you have any SOPs or processes that they need to follow? Where are they located? All really, really important things when looking at a team member, like who's going to be taking care of that kind of stuff. Of course, they're going to come with a super strong foundation, the skills, the role, the responsibilities. They've been there, done that, but everybody's business is very different. right? So like there's gonna be some sort of ramp up period when you do bring somebody on. Again, spoken a little bit about previously, but are they gonna be involved in the decision making? Are they gonna be able to collaborate? Are they just gonna be the task doer? Ensure that they really understand, like, are you the direct report? Is there another direct report? And what level of autonomy that they have. It's totally okay to be like, hey, you're a marketing assistant, you're doing collateral and social media, that's all you're gonna be doing, and there's really nothing else. Another person might say, hey, you're doing social media, but I need you to help me with strategy, research, report back to me what you find, what people are doing in the industry, what type of trends are out there. And lastly, like resources. Like this is really important when onboarding is like, when people onboard, like for some reason, they just like expect that team member to have access to like tools and platforms and logins and passwords. Like confirm, like, make sure that, whether you want to share it via like a platform like LastPass or 1Password, if you have Trello or Asana or like your CRM or your Slack. So obviously whenever hiring somebody, they're gonna have a ton of questions. Expect questions, and then coach with feedback. People ask questions because they want to fully understand what they're doing. Sometimes people go, oh man, this person's asking so many questions. Well, they're not a mind reader, they're not a genie. They need to really understand, how you want things done, the way you want things done, if it's okay to do something, if it's not okay to do something. So expect questions, and then hey, coach with feedback if things are not done to your liking. So we're really here to guide you here at Assistantly. Really important to us. There's really like two ways of hiring any type of assistant level role. You could do it yourself. There's different platforms out there, different job boards, Indeed, LinkedIn, or you can like use a company like Assistantly, where obviously we craft the job description for you. You literally just book a call. We do, a jam session. We take your brain dump, turn it into like a really great uniform job description that follows the 4 R's, of course. And that's how we go and headhunt for our clients. It's not like we have like a pool of assistants waiting around for a job. Every client's super different industry, different role, different responsibilities. And we do a fantastic job here at Assistantly of plugging you with the right unicorn candidates for the position. So you literally like sit back, relax. We'll present you great candidates. You will interview them, which obviously we facilitate. It'd be really weird to stick you with like randos in the Philippines or Latin America. It's something where we will help you interview these folks and then consult with you at the end on whoever is the best fit for the position. We will onboard you. That's again, everything that I talked about today, we do for you. We'll outline goals, expectations, reporting, communication, and then you'll be ready to really start delegating from week 1, which will be really awesome for you. And we also, of course, help with the performance success, making sure clocking in, clocking off, so they're sending daily reports, but also helping with the upskilling and training to make sure that like your unicorn is not a zebra. Of course, people always want to learn and take advantage of resources and courses and all that kind of stuff, which we provide here at Assistantly. It's time to scale your team without the complexity of hiring, onboarding, and training. Your job is to sit back, relax, and let us handle the rest. From creating a job description, to setting up the interview session, to the onboarding, to the performance success, we take care of it all. We'll present you some really great unicorn candidates for any role that you're looking to hire for. And if you want to book a strategy call, you just go to assistantly.com. You're going to see a strategy call button. You'll click it, and we have so many different times and dates and stuff that you can book. And it'll make it really easy where you show up, take your brain dump. Maybe you don't have a concrete job description or role, but you want to talk it over and consult with us on maybe what you think is the next best hire. And we'll craft everything from A to Z and make sure it's all good for you. All you got to do is go to assistantly.com and then book a strategy call, and we will see you there. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you got a lot out of these. Ton of acronyms. There's the 4 V's. There's STAR. There's Zone of Genius, Zone of Resentment. Hope there's some gold nuggets in there for you guys, and I will see you on the next one. Thank you so much.